Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Laughing Boy here, and today I'm trying something a little bit different. Well, this video is going to be on the pros and cons of the Biker DLC for Grand Theft Auto Online. But first, I want to show you a 30-second showcase of video games, otherwise known as my intro. Now, I am going to be changing my intro. I'm going to be experimenting with a few things over the next few weeks and find something that kind of fits that I like. I have had a couple people comment on the length of my intro. The purpose of it is to kind of showcase different video games that I play. However, the one that I have now is kind of dated, so I'm going to change it up a little bit, at least a little bit, and I promise you I will not make it longer. I can't promise that I'm going to make it shorter. I am going to be experimenting with it. Anyway, on to the video. I'm going to be showing you pros and cons of the Biker DLC. I'm going to be comparing it to the, I think it's the Further Adventures in Finance and Felony DLC. It's the CEO DLC. And my friend Late Fisher, the one that's running around on the motorcycle, she is going to be helping me demonstrate a few things. First thing I'm going to demonstrate is the ability to put away any vehicle that you own from anywhere. Obviously, this is not a motorcycle. This is a little bit too big, and it has too many wheels. Now, any member of a motorcycle club can do this. I am the president of this motorcycle club. Late Fisher here is a member of my motorcycle club at the moment. You see, I put away my vehicle, and she is about to put away hers. There it goes. It's not a magic trick. And also, you can, as a member of a motorcycle club, you can summon any motorcycle that you own. And if you don't own any motorcycles, you can summon a basic rat bike. I have not tested this theory, but don't think you can store it in your garage. Now, on the negative side, when you're a member of a motorcycle club, you cannot be a CEO of a business. Therefore, you cannot use your CEO abilities or your CEO vehicles. Which means that you can't summon a free buzzard wherever you are. You can, of course, call Pegasus and go and pick it up. But it is pretty convenient to actually have a helicopter appear next to you. Especially one that has weapons on it. But also, along that lines, you can't call your assistant. If you're a member of a motorcycle club, you cannot call your assistant if your vehicle gets impounded. Or, well, you can't call your assistant, period. But it causes an issue when your motorcycle or your vehicle gets impounded and you're out in the desert. You can't call your assistant and pay $1,000 to her or him to get your vehicle back. That leaves you with the option of going and paying at the gate $250 or stealing your vehicle back. And the other option is to bring out another vehicle and then pay more as mutual But in that case, you're most likely going to be paying, or at least in my case, I wound up paying more to Moore's Mutual than I would have to my assistant. On the plus side, comparing the two, it is much cheaper to set up a business to get yourself off and running in the Motorcycle Club DLC and the Biker DLC than it was in the CEO DLC. Well, I'll just give you the numbers here. It is, in order to get the bare bones office for the CEO, you'd have to pay $1 million, and that is, it's an office. You couldn't, that's no gun safe, no bedroom, no nothing. It's just an office. Well, with an assistant, and you can name it. You couldn't, if you change the name, it's going to cost you money. But anyway, that's the same thing here. But it's $1 million for the bare bones office, and you couldn't sleep in it. Now, the reason I say that will be apparent in a minute. But it also will cost you $250,000 extra for the smallest, cheapest warehouse. Now, on the other side, to get the clubhouse, which you can sleep in, it's basically an apartment with a 10 motorcycle garage without a shower or a planning room. But you wouldn't really want to do your heist out of there. Anyway, the cheapest clubhouse is $200,000. And the cheapest business is $650,000. So that's $850,000 compared to $1.25 million. And you actually have the ability to do things like sleep, and you have a garage in the building. You can also have your motorcycle mechanic in the building. It costs you extra to put that in there. You can have a gun safe in there as well. But the place automatically comes with a dartboard and arm wrestling table and your own bartender that sounds like she's been smoking for 150 years. And did I mention a cot? You have a little cot in your makeshift office and a little makeshift wardrobe in your makeshift office. So you can sleep there, you can change clothes there. It's basically kind of like a little apartment. You cannot store a car, but you can store 10 motorcycles. You also cannot take a shower, which anyway, you get kind of rank, I guess. You also cannot host a heist out of there, but no, depending on the location of the clubhouse, mine being in the desert, I really wouldn't want to host a heist out of there. Couple of cool things that have been added with the motorcycle club is one is shared waypoints. I, as the club president, set a waypoint, and Late Fisher sees it. Another is riding in formation. Now, as you can see, we're moving pretty fast. She's right there with me. Her bike is not nearly as fast as mine, but as long as she's in formation, she's going to keep up with me. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because now we're all going to be moving at a pretty high rate of speed and in a tight formation, which increases our likelihood of having an accident. And I don't mean in our pants. Now here's another positive and negative. It's almost a passive income. As long as you have the supplies here, they will continue to make product. However, the supplies often cost more than the product is going to earn you, so you have to steal the supplies. And in many cases, it's just easier if you have multiple people there with you, especially if you're in a lobby that has actual people in with it in there. This is a public lobby with just me and Late Fisher. And here we go and intimidate this force lob into telling us where a couple of vans are so we can go and steal our supplies. Here they are. And as I said, a couple of vans. There are two of them. And if this was not a, if this was a public lobby, well, it is a public lobby, but if it was a lobby, if it was a populated public lobby, there'd be a lot of people that would know exactly where these vans are, pretty much before we get moving. But if I was doing this by myself, they would definitely know where the second van was before I could get to it. This and get used to phone calls. Yeah, Lester's going to call you. Well, Long John, whatever, is going to call you. Quite often telling you that you're out of supplies, which is kind of annoying, having to drop things, drop what you're doing, and go and resupply one of the businesses. Now, if you don't resupply that business, you're going to continue to pay wages to the people that are sitting around doing absolutely nothing until you either resupply that business, or you go shut it down. Also, here I am selling, and if it wasn't for Late Fisher's help here, I most certainly would not have finished this. In fact, with the two of us doing this, we barely made it. In fact, there's a kind of a funny story. When we finished it, we both finished these our first trucks, delivered. We delivered their 5 packages per vehicle, and we had a little route set. The game automatically set the route. Anyway, when we got done with our first trucks, we raced back for the third truck, because we didn't have 3 players, and she got the truck. And she made the last delivery at the last second and actually had a box stuck to her hand for a little while. Here's a screenshot. Anyway, yeah, so the point here is that you're definitely going to need help, unlike with the CEO, because with the CEO, if you were using the trucks, if you were using the trucks, you could go and make your first delivery, call your helicopter, fly back, make the second delivery, and continue to do that, and usually do it in time. And of course, with the CEO, the deliveries were usually take the truck over there, park it, and leave it alone. With this one, the deliveries are, well, I'm playing basically a mailman. I'm driving out here, and I put the truck in the correct location, get out of the truck, go set a package on the ground until I run out of packages, and then the truck is locked up and I can't drive it anymore, which is okay because it is slow as Christmas. So yes, if your business runs out of supplies and you don't really have time to go and resupply it right now, go save yourself some money and shut it down. Also, when you're planning on selling, make sure to have some friends with you, even if it's just you in the lobby. Invite a couple of friends in there and go sell your product, because you're going to need help most of the time. Last thing I want to touch on is the new Adversary Mode. It's kind of a hybrid between Adversary Mode and racing. It's called slipstreaming. It's not very popular right now because probably because of 2 things. One, it requires 4 people to kick it off, and two, not everybody understands how it works. It looks like a race, so you get on your motorcycle, or the motorcycle is supplied. You can't use your own. Anyway, you get on the motorcycle and you take off. It looks like a race, so some people are trying to race. However, problem is your team has to be close together when you hit a checkpoint, or it doesn't count. If you come up to a red checkpoint, that means that your teammates are too far from you. And the other part of it is the slipstreaming, which is, you just kind of get in a line and you pick up speed that way. You can trade places and and kind of slingshot each other and maybe pick up some speed that way. But it also even with just 4 players, it pays kind of well. First place gets $10,000 apiece, and second place gets $5,000 apiece. And it's only it's only a few minutes. So that's pretty good. If you get more people in there, you get paid better. Anyway, so that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. Please remember, a like would help me out a great deal. I thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Laughing Boy out.